Hi there, you're watching Malika Astrology, and this is your Vedic astrology forecast for June for the sign of Cancer. Before we dive in, one important note. This channel is dedicated to Vedic astrology, also known as Jyotish. This is not the same as the Western horoscopes most people are familiar with. In the Vedic system, the signs are calculated differently, so your Vedic sign may not be the one you think you know. Check out the first video on this channel. I explain the difference there in detail. And one more thing, the forecasts here are based on your rising sign, your ascendant, not your sun sign. If you don't know your Vedic ascendant, simply send me your date of birth, your exact time of birth, and your place of birth, and I'll help you find it. All my contact details are in the description below. All right, let's talk about June, because for Cancer, this month is truly something special. What is this month really about? June for Cancer is a month that will stay with you. Not because it's loud or chaotic, but because something rare is happening. The most benefic planet in the solar system is coming directly into your sign and arriving at its maximum power. This happens once every 12 years. But June doesn't open with a celebration. The first 2 weeks are about final completion, the last exhale before a big inhale. It's from the middle of the month that life begins to shift in ways that are real and lasting. The central themes are personal blossoming, coming back to yourself, and growing from the inside out. And alongside that, money, career, and relationships, all of which receive very specific planetary impulses this month. Let's go through it step by step. Sun in the 11th house, through June 15th in Taurus. At the start of June, the Sun is in Taurus, and for Cancer, that's your 11th house. The house of income, big goals, friends, and communities. The place where dreams come true through the right people and the right connections. The Sun here illuminates exactly this sphere. You're thinking about the future, about what you want to achieve, about the people around you, who genuinely helps you grow and who just creates the appearance of closeness. A good period for stating your goals out loud and finding support through your circle. Mercury in the 12th house. May 29th through June 22nd in Gemini. Now Mercury is in Gemini, and for Cancer, Gemini is your 12th house. This is an important nuance worth knowing about. The 12th house is the house of hidden processes, solitude, completions, and everything that happens out of view. When Mercury, the planet of mind and speech, is here, thoughts turn inward. You think a lot, but don't always speak out loud. The inner monologue is very active. Self-analysis, reassessment, quiet decisions made in private. This is a time for deep reflection, but not for important public announcements or serious negotiations. Words may not land the way you intend. And one more thing. Mercury in the 12th house carries the risk of getting tangled in your own thoughts, especially when you're tired. Don't draw serious conclusions from an anxious state of mind. Let your thoughts settle first. Venus in the 12th house, through June 8th in Gemini. Venus is also in your 12th house at the start of the month, and this makes the first days of June quite introverted in the area of relationships and pleasure. Venus in the 12th house means hidden feelings, quiet beauty, the enjoyment of solitude. Romance turns inward rather than outward. You want not bright events, but stillness next to someone close, or simply stillness by yourself. Spending may be higher than usual during this period. The 12th house is traditionally connected to expenditures. Watch for impulsive purchases made for comfort. And in the very first hours of June, the final note of Jupiter in the 12th house. Jupiter in the 12th house, through June 1st in Gemini. Jupiter is still in your 12th house in the very first days of June. This is the completion of a long transit that lasted nearly a year. Jupiter in the 12th house brought growth through inner processes, through spirituality, through the closing of old chapters. A great deal happened internally during this period. Reassessment, release, quiet maturation. On June 1st, Jupiter leaves the 12th house. And that's the final point. An old inner cycle closes. What you let go of over this past year is not coming back, and that is a good thing. And now, something I want to draw your particular attention to. May 11th through June 20th in Aries. Mars is in Aries, and for Cancer, that's your 10th house, the house of career, reputation, and professional achievement. Mars in the 10th house is powerful career energy, a strong desire to achieve, to break through, to claim your place, to become more visible in your professional world. You may feel real drive at work. You want to act, launch, push forward, and win ground. But there's a flip side, possible conflicts with management or colleagues. Ambitions are high, and patience is not this transit's strongest quality. It's important not to burn bridges for the sake of a quick win. This is an excellent time for career initiatives and conversations about advancement, as long as you act strategically rather than head-on. And throughout the whole month, a few longer transits are running in the background. Rahu in the 8th house, all month in Aquarius. Rahu is in your 8th house, the house of transformation, hidden resources, other people's money, and deep change. This is a profound and not always easy transit. There's a strong pull toward the hidden, interest in psychology, in what's happening beneath the surface of life. Situations may arise involving other people's money, inheritance, shared finances, partnership resources. Rahu here creates a genuine desire for deep transformation, but it also brings fog. Not everything that looks like a profitable joint venture actually is. Caution in partnership finances is an important rule for this entire period. Ketu in the 2nd house, all month in Leo. Ketu is in your 2nd house, the house of money, possessions, and values. This brings a certain detachment from the material. Familiar income sources may be working less reliably. Ketu draws you away from old ways of earning, inviting you to find new ones. Family relationships may be going through a period of quiet reassessment. This isn't a crisis. It's an invitation to look more honestly at what you truly value. Saturn in the 9th house, all month in Pisces. Saturn is in your 9th house, the house of higher education, philosophy, spirituality, and worldview. This is a long transit, lasting until 2027. Saturn in the 9th house means a serious, slow reassessment of your beliefs. What you believed before is being tested against reality. Not everything passes that test, and that's completely normal. Saturn is teaching you to build your philosophy of life not on beautiful ideas, but on real experience and an honest view of things. And now, the main event, the one I wanted to give its own space. The main event of June. Jupiter enters Cancer. June 1st. Jupiter moves into the 1st house of Cancer. Here it is, the main event not just of June, but of all of 2026 for your sign. On June 1st, Jupiter leaves the 12th house and enters directly into your 1st house, into the sign of Cancer. And this is not simply a good transit. This is an exceptional transit. Jupiter is the most benefic planet in Vedic astrology. Cancer is the sign where Jupiter is exalted, operating at its absolute maximum power. Think of a great conductor stepping onto the finest stage of his life. He's completely in his element and giving everything he has. For Cancer, The first house is you yourself, your personality, your character, your appearance, your body, your health, your life force, the way others perceive you, your energy, and how you show up in the world. When Jupiter in exaltation arrives in the first house, this is one of the most favorable transits a person can experience. What can it bring? A sense of inner blossoming, coming back to yourself, a real growth in confidence, improved health and overall well-being, more vitality and life force, a growth in your attractiveness and significance in the eyes of others. People begin to see you differently, more seriously, with greater respect. Important new beginnings, projects, relationships, chapters of life that will be long-lasting, and the feeling that life is finally moving in the right direction. Many things begin to fall into place on their own. And here I want to share something personal with you. I am a Cancer rising myself, and I am already feeling this transit. Not in theory, but in real life. I can see the changes outside, and I feel them inside too. So I'm telling you about this not only as an astrologer, but as someone who is living through it right alongside you. Jupiter will be in Cancer until the end of October 2026. For your sign, this is a period of personal blossoming that comes around once every 12 years. This is not the time to be modest and wait. This is the time to act, to begin, to show up fully, and to receive what life is offering with open hands. Now, what happens in the second half of the month? Sun moves into the 12th house from June 15th in Gemini. On June 15th, the Sun leaves the 11th house and moves into the 12th, the house of completions, solitude, and hidden processes. The social activity of the first half eases a little. The Sun in the 12th house is a signal. Slow down. Give yourself space for inner work, not because life is stopping, but because some of your energy needs to go toward completion and rest, especially now that Jupiter is already standing in your first house. This is exactly the time to build up your inner resources rather than spending them outward. And on June 8th, something very beautiful happens in your first house. Venus moves into the first house. From June 8th in Cancer. From June 8th, Venus arrives directly in your sign and meets Jupiter there. Picture that for a moment. Jupiter, at its most powerful, is already filling your first house. And then Venus, the planet of love and beauty, walks in and joins it. Venus in the first house means personal blossoming through charm and attraction. You become especially appealing, not just in appearance. A softness, warmth, and magnetism emerges. People are drawn to you. When Venus meets Jupiter in exaltation in your first house, this is quite literally the peak of personal charm and life's joy. Not just a good mood, but a deep sense that life is beautiful and you are exactly where you belong. A particularly favorable period for new connections, romantic events, and important personal steps. And after June 20th, one more important shift. Mars moves into the 11th house, from June 20th in Taurus. After June 20th, Mars leaves the 10th house and moves into the 11th, the house of income, goals, and communities. The career drive transforms. Energy moves toward results, toward income, toward achieving concrete goals through connections and your social circle. A good time for financial initiatives and advancing through social contacts. Just be careful not to create conflict through impatience. Health in June. A few things genuinely worth paying attention to this month. Rest and recovery. Mercury and Venus in the 12th house at the start of the month, plus the completion of Jupiter's transit, all of this points to one thing. Your body needs rest before the big cycle begins. Don't push through fatigue in the first 2 weeks of June. The stomach and emotional tone. Cancer is physically connected to the stomach and digestion. Emotional experiences, and there will be plenty in June, though mostly pleasant ones, directly affect this area. Watch your eating. Don't eat through anxiety and don't overindulge from joy. The surge of life force after June 1st. The moment Jupiter enters your first house, many Cancers will literally feel a wave of energy arriving. This is real and it's good, but try not to immediately spend all of that resource at once. Let your body adjust gradually. The nervous system. Mercury in the 12th house can create background anxiety and mental noise, especially in the first half of the month. Meditation, nature, and quiet are the best tools right now. Money in June. The financial picture for Cancer in June is uneven, but with a strong positive direction. Ketu in the second house all month creates some instability in familiar income sources. Some of your old ways of earning may be working less reliably. But from June 1st, Jupiter in exaltation in the first house begins working on your personal power and attractiveness. And this powerfully influences finances through new opportunities and the right people showing up. Mars in the 10th house through June 20th adds career drive that can convert directly into income. The main advice: don't hold on to old financial patterns. June is opening new paths to money, and they may be in places you haven't thought to look before. Career in June. June is an active and productive month for career. Mars in the 10th house through June 20th creates a strong professional impulse. The desire to act, advance, and make yourself known. A good time for launching projects and conversations about advancement, as long as you act strategically rather than head-on. Saturn in the 9th house all month calls for a mature approach. Career growth right now comes through depth and competence, not speed. After June 20th, Mars moves into the 11th house, and career energy starts working through connections and communities. Love and relationships in June. The start of June is quiet in the personal sphere. Venus in the 12th house through the 8th creates an atmosphere of hidden feelings, intimate solitude, a quiet sense of closeness, but not bright romantic events. From June 8th, Venus arrives in your first house and meets Jupiter, and that changes everything. You become incredibly magnetic, warm, charming, fully alive. For those in relationships, a period of deep mutual warmth and real flourishing as a couple. For those who are looking, a meeting that could turn out to be very significant is genuinely possible right now. The most favorable days run from June 8th through the end of the month. The month in summary. June for Cancer divides into two completely different parts. The first half is about final completion, quiet, inward, sometimes tired. The planets in the 12th house ask you to stop, rest, and close old chapters. Jupiter takes its final step through the house of completions and moves on. Mars in the 10th keeps enough career energy present to prevent you from disappearing entirely into the shadows. The second half is personal blossoming. Jupiter in exaltation in the first house, Venus alongside it. This is a rare, beautiful, and genuinely significant combination. Life quite literally turns to face you. Your opportunities in June. Personal blossoming and growing confidence. Charm and attraction in relationships. Career initiatives and real advancement. New financial paths and income sources. And deep inner maturation through the completion of old themes. Where to be more careful. Anxious thoughts and mental noise in the first half. Hidden expenses and impulsive spending. Conflicts in career from impatience. And fog around partnership finances and hidden intentions. The main message of June. June 2026 is the starting point of a new 12-year cycle for Cancer. Jupiter in exaltation in your first house is saying one thing: you deserve more. And now you have the support of the universe to actually receive it. Don't let this moment pass in quiet doubt and familiar limitations. Bloom, begin, be fully yourself, because right now that is more powerful than it has ever been. This has been the general transit forecast for Cancer in Vedic astrology. It describes the tendencies for everyone with this ascendant. But your personal story is always richer and more specific than any general forecast can capture. Your natal chart holds something this forecast simply cannot give you. Which themes will be most significant for you personally? How strongly these transits will show up in your life? And which moments this month could be genuinely pivotal for you and no one else? That's what a personal reading is for. If you'd like to explore your natal chart, reach out to me. All you need is your date of birth, your exact time of birth, and your place of birth. All my contact details are below this video. You can also order a full year ahead forecast. Until the next forecast, and may June bring you exactly what you need.